Hey everyone, I'm Rob Singleton, the author of the book Overliked. Have you noticed how many people are not paying attention to what they're paying attention to? You haven't noticed that? It's because it's weird how I just said it. Let me say it a little differently. People are not even thinking about what they're thinking about. Still strange? Maybe this will help. When I was growing up, adults would always rag on our music. You're probably familiar with this if you're over 30. They would say, that's awful. They would say things like, did you hear what they just sang there? The lyrics? And what was the typical teenage response? Oh, I don't listen to the words. I just like the music. Or I'm not into the lyrics. I just like the vibe.
The right tune creates the right vibe.
Well, the problem, of course, is that it doesn't really matter if we aren't really getting into the words, because the words are definitely getting into us.
Do you have a precedent which supports this vibe?
So much so that today's most popular songs by far have lyrics that are so vile and degrading, mostly to women, that they would have been labeled obscene and offensive just a dozen years ago. Songs like WAP by Cardi B, Mia Khalifa's I Love Friday, Hungry Hippo by Tierra Whack, I think it is, if that's a name, Doja Cat, definitely not a real name, Candy, Savage, again by Cardi B, she's one of the greatest offenders, all of which have lyrics I can't even relate to you right now because they're that bad. And today, the words 30 years ago our parents said are coming back to haunt everybody. But not just as young people listen to far worse lyrics today, but because they make up obscene dance moves to them as well on TikTok, while continuing to say, as we did, I don't really pay attention to the lyrics, or I'm just focusing on learning these dance moves to this cool video, not the words. Let me say it another way. I don't really pay attention to what I'm paying attention to, or I'm not focused on the words. Let me tell you, the lyricists, the artists, the rappers, the gang members, and the drug dealers, and I'm not being over the top with this, they are laser focused on you, their audience. Perhaps you should be more aware of what it is they're actually trying to do. The Bible tells us to focus, 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 focus. The principle is you have to pay attention to what you're paying attention to.
Pay attention.
It's not a riddle, it's a fact of life that helps anchor your life. When King David, written about extensively in the Old Testament, saw the beautiful Bathsheba bathing on the roof, he could have taken different steps. He could have put up a wall to shield her and protect himself from seeing that, knowing that women back then bathed on the roofs. He could have put a filter on his computer, so to speak. He could have stopped going to that section of the palace roof. He could have gone back inside to have a nice Bible study, just loving God. He could have gathered some of his mighty men up who knew him very well and asked them to hold him accountable. But instead, he kept steering toward what he was staring at. And in that time of staring, new intentions developed in his heart. He walked straight off the edge of the cliff. David sent a messenger to find out who this beautiful Miss Israel contestant was. His people told him her name was Bathsheba. Listen, she's married, her father is well known. You know this guy, he's very influential. And her husband, get this, Uriah was one of David's former mighty men, one of his closest friends. Wait, what?
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, Uriah was one of his best friends from long ago. He'd kind of lost touch with him, but David very much knew this guy. Yet, David didn't let these facts deter him, as we like to think they would have. No, he kept staring. Indeed, his actions were wrong in every way. What happened? Well, listen, blinded by his kryptonite, David wasn't concerned about anybody except David. And that's the place where we usually make our greatest mistakes. It's certainly where he did. When we're worn out, empty, wanting, trying to fill a void, David didn't plan on ruining his life or jeopardizing his career as king or ruining his country. He just wants a little time in the company of a beautiful woman. Innocent, right? Wrong. See, therein lies the problem. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
I'm just gonna write that down.
With culture so intent upon steering us away from Jesus and the beauty and truth of the gospel message and toward a lifetime of self-worship and an eternity of separation away from God, what can we even do? Well, this entire dilemma is why I wrote Overliked. In it, I will not only expose the problem for you to plainly see, but also provide some very simple steps that any one of us can take today to break the stranglehold of self-focus and God shunning that is so pervasive in our culture today. And listen, instead, flip the script so that the Lord is central to every aspect of our lives and we can live out his wonderful plan for us. You can order your copy today at overlikedbook.com.